Agape love is the purest form of love, not transactional, not rooted in reward or recognition, but given freely and sacrificially. For teachers, this form of love is often expressed not in grand gestures, but in the silent daily acts that go unnoticed, the patience shown to a defiant student, the compassion extended to a struggling teen, the quiet prayer whispered for a class before the bell rings. Teaching, when viewed through the lens of agape, is a vocation of sacred endurance. Agape is not performance, it is presence. It does not demand perfection from students, nor from ourselves. It calls us to show up, day after day, even when we are depleted, underappreciated, or criticized. It means loving the child whose trauma erupts into defiance. It means staying in the room when everything in us wants to flee. It means seeing the sacred in the messy. Agape love is cruciform. Teachers carry invisible crosses. The student who lost a parent, the child sleeping on a friend's couch, the one who lashes out because no one listens at home. There are days when the lesson plan gives way to presence, when the objectives are less about academics and more about anchoring a child in safety. In those moments, the classroom becomes a sanctuary. Christ carried the weight of others' wounds. So do teachers, not in a redemptive sense, but in an incarnational one. They step into others' pain not to fix it, but to bear witness to it. They offer stability in a world that constantly shifts. This is agape. It's not about outcomes, it's about accompaniment. The world sees classroom behavior. God sees what's beneath it. The disruptive student might be carrying a burden no adult has dared to ask about. The silent child might be surviving, a chaos too big for words. Agape love refuses to reduce students to their behaviors. It seeks the human underneath. This love sees a soul worth fighting for, even when data doesn't. St. John Bosco once said, "It is not enough to love the young, they must know they are loved." Agape love persists in trying, even when love is met with resistance. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches that charity is the soul of the holiness to which all are called, CCC 8-6. And so a teacher's love, when rooted in charity, is not mere kindness, it is a participation. In holiness, agape love shifts our understanding of teaching from a job to a vocation. A job pays the bills, a vocation transforms the soul. Saint Therese of Lisieux spoke of doing small things with great love. Every attendance call, every paper graded, every hallway conversation, these can become acts of holiness when infused with love. Agape doesn't seek applause, it's not performative, it's faithful. It returns day after day, even when there's nothing to show for it but exhaustion. Psychologist Viktor Frankl noted that meaning sustains us more than comfort. For many teachers, the calling is not about test scores but transformation. One child discovering they are not alone, one student realizing they are seen. That is where meaning is born. Agape does not mean martyrdom. It is not codependency. Jesus drew away to pray. He did not heal every wound he encountered. Teachers must also rest. They must refill their cup. Agape honors the body and soul of the giver. Boundaries are not unloving, they are holy. They say, "I will give what I can, but I am not the Savior." Loving others does not mean destroying ourselves. Agape does not scream louder to be heard, it listens more deeply. It is rooted in dignity, not dominance. It may mean standing up against unjust systems, advocating for support, and choosing to teach differently. But it never shames. It invites growth with gentleness and truth. Think of lesser-known saints who embodied agape in their vocations. Saint Josephine Bakhita, who was once enslaved, later taught children and radiated mercy. Blessed Maria Romero Meneses, who educated poor children in Nicaragua, not only in academics but in human dignity. Saint Pedro Poveda, a teacher and martyr, who believed education was a path to holiness. Their lives teach us that education is a mission field. A classroom can be a sacred place where lives are restored when approached with agape. Agape love shows up through co-regulation. When a student is dysregulated, the teacher's calm can be the stabilizing force. This requires immense inner strength. Mirror neurons in the brain pick up on tone, posture, and emotional state. A calm teacher can lower the anxiety of an entire class. That's neuroscience affirming love. But this constant co-regulation leads to compassion fatigue. Agape is not about endlessly pouring out. It's about sustainable sacrifice. Support systems, therapy, Sabbath rest, these are not luxuries. These are lifelines. Every class has invisible, Students, the misgendered, the grieving, the undocumented, the food insecure. Agape sees them. It leans toward the margins. Jesus always did. He called Zacchaeus by name. He noticed the woman who touched his garment. He restored dignity before demanding change. Agape in teaching means seeing the unseen, noticing the change in a child's eyes, asking a quiet, "Are you okay?" and meaning it. That kind of love can save a life. Teacher Appreciation Week is beautiful, but it's fleeting. Agape doesn't hinge on external praise. The teacher who teaches with love is sowing seeds they may never see bloom, but love is never wasted. Every child who is shown patience remembers it. Every teen who was seen with compassion carries that moment into adulthood. The world may never notice the emotional labor, the nights spent worrying about a student, or the exhaustion behind the smile, but heaven sees it all. In Matthew 25, Jesus says, "Whatever you did for one of the least of these, you did for me." That includes wiping a desk. That includes not yelling back. That includes giving a second chance. We think holiness is loud and grand, but Agape thrives in the ordinary, a teacher who quietly prays over their class roster, the one who slips granola bars into a backpack, the one who spends their own money to buy crayons, the one who walks a student to the bus with a gentle hand on their shoulder. These are holy acts, hidden but holy. Saint Teresa of Calcutta said, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." In the classroom, small things are everything. For the teacher who shows up when they're broken, Lord, bless their endurance. For the teacher who speaks truth into a world of lies, Lord, strengthen their voice. For the teacher who sees beauty where others see disruption, Lord, open their eyes wider still. For the teacher who doubts their worth, Lord, remind them they are beloved. Teaching with agape love is not easy. It is costly, but it is also sacred. It is a form of service that echoes into eternity. When teachers love not just behavior, but the full humanity of a child, they become mirrors of God's own mercy. So during this Teacher Appreciation Week, let us honor not just the achievements, not just the lesson plans, but the love. The quiet agape love that transforms classrooms into places of belonging, resilience, and grace. Teachers, you are doing holy work. You are not just shaping students. You are shaping souls.